This is the UGREEN 25 watt 10,000 milliamp power bank that just got released. This is going to be using the new standard from Qi 2.2, which is also known Qi 2 25 watts. It's represented here on the front of the power bank. And this is going to allow you to charge your device with 25 watts of power. Keep in mind that you need iOS 26. I currently am running iOS 26 beta 8 on my phone to test this charger out. And I can tell you that it does charge with that 25 watts of power, and it's extremely noticeable. So this standard is new for the Qi 2 world, and you're pretty much getting 25 watts of power compared to the old 15 watts of power. This is going to allow you to charge up a lot quicker, and it's also going to have stronger magnets since that new standard does include those stronger magnets. The magnet on the bottom for the alignment, because of the heaviness of the power bank, doesn't stay completely aligned on the back of the phone. Only the top magnet is really strong where it's keeping it aligned, but the bottom one slightly moves left and right depending on how you're holding your phone. You're getting a 10,000 milliamp power bank with a couple of neat features. This is a pretty hefty power bank and it is thick. So here I'm going to put it on the back of the phone and you'll be able to see the difference in size here compared to the phone and the power bank. The power bank is going to be a couple phones thickness, which this is expected, especially with a 10,000 milliamp powered battery. But the charging speeds is where it's most important. So you have the option to charge multiple ways. You can either use the wireless charger on the front if you have a MagSafe iPhone, or you can just place any other device on here and it's backwards compatible if you don't have magnets on the phone, but it supports wireless charging. The next option is to use the built-in cable, which also acts as a lanyard whenever you're not using it, but it's neat to have this cable built into the power bank. That way you don't have to worry about carrying another one with you when you want to use the power bank. And the third option here is you can use the USB-C port on the bottom to be able to charge another device regardless of what kind of cable it uses. You just need a USB-C cable here on one end to the cable that the device requires. So it's neat that you can charge 3 devices, and yes, you can charge 3 devices at the exact same time. So this is a pretty neat power bank to have. This isn't something that I recommend to have in your pocket because, like I said, it's the thickness of a couple of iPhones. So this is something that you should have in your backpack if you're traveling somewhere and you know that you're going to charge stuff not just with wireless charging, but with cables as well. So that wired charging will be really handy to charge up those other devices. The next thing here I want to mention is the screen on the side. So you have this nice little screen that shows you the percentage of the battery pack. That way you know how much is left in here. Then you have 2 different icons, one for wireless charging that shows when you're using the front side of the power bank, and then one with a lightning bolt for fast charging, which tells you when you're using that fast charging option of 30 watts. Getting into the 30 watts, you get 30 watts of power with the supplied USB-C cable or another USB-C cable through the port. And you have the ability to charge up the power bank with 30 watts if you have a 30 watt or higher power brick. So it works both ways, in and out, for the 30 watts of power. Coming to the real test here with beta 8, keep in mind I'm repeating that I'm on the beta because things may change a little bit when the official version of iOS 26 comes out. Since it was never mentioned that they're gonna include 25 watts of wireless charging, this is something new, so Apple has yet to say something about it. So with my tests, I was able to get, with wireless charging, about 20% for 25 minutes. With the wired charging here, I was able to get 20% increase in battery with only 20 minutes. So it's very close now with the way the charging works for wireless charging and also through wired charging. Compared to before, wireless charging was a lot slower. The other thing I want to talk about here is the heaviness of it. I did mention that it's pretty heavy and thick, but this thing on the back of the phone makes your phone, see, extremely heavy where it slips out of your hand. So make sure that you're holding onto this nicely, and I would not depend on this lanyard to have my phone magnetically attached. Yes, you're getting multiple features here with a power bank that can do multiple things. It has different options, and it has the latest and greatest Qi 2 standard. So you're getting a lot with the power bank, but is it really worth that expensive price point of $90? I'm not 100% sure here because of the fact that it is not extremely slim, in my personal opinion, to carry every day unless you have this in a bag. Yes, 10K MagSafe power banks have always been thicker than the 5Ks. However, this thing is thick and heavy. So the thing is, do you want to carry something this big on the back of your phone? Pretty sure eventually there's going to be slimmer 5K 25 watt power banks that we will see in the future. So that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. But in regards to this UGREEN power bank here, it's a great power bank because it's doing exactly what it says it does. So it's charging with 25 watts for the phone as long as the phone is not too hot or there's no other conditions affecting it. And it charges 30 watts when you have the wired cable plugged into the phone. So you're getting a big bonus here with all these options, and the fact that you can carry this around and charge up other devices is the big plus here. So you'll be able to use this with other Qi 2 devices and not the ones that support the newest standard. So if you were to buy this right now and you don't have iOS 26, it will still work. It just will not charge with the full 25 watts of power until that update comes out later in the next month. There is something you should know though. If you're planning on getting into the new iPhones, we don't know if those are going to support any faster speeds. So currently with the 16 Pro Max, for example, that I have, yes, I'm getting the maximum that you can get 25 watts of wireless charging, and 30 watts is pretty high up there with the wired charging. The newer phones could support even higher wired charging, so you'll be missing out on that if you decide to go on the route of getting a power bank now. So that's also something you should know when purchasing this. But otherwise, like I mentioned, this provides plenty of power, especially with the 10,000 milliamp hour battery. I do want to mention one thing that I disagree with is the fact that they mention you can get up to 50% battery on 30 minutes of charging. I did attempt to see this, but I could not get those numbers on my phone. The max I was getting, it was around 35 to 40% increase in battery with that 30 minutes of charging through the cable. So maybe my phone being on the beta, it's not fully developed out yet. So there might be some issues here and there, even though it's one of the final betas. So that's something that you should know when purchasing this, that you might not get the advertised speeds because it just depends on your device. And like I mentioned all the time, the conditions around the device. One improvement that I can recommend here to UGREEN if they're watching this video is that they should have made the screen a little bit longer. So instead of having the text that is 10,000 milliamps, maybe they could have made a little bigger screen here and gave you a little bit more statistics. So it would be great to know what speed you're wirelessly charging, not just the icon to let you know that it's wirelessly charging. And then when using the wired option, whether it be through the cable or through the port, I wish it would tell you, like some other power banks, the actual wattage that it's pulling through the cable. That will be very beneficial here, and they have space here on the side to make a bigger screen, I think, and show that information. Let me know if you have any additional questions in the comments, and I'll try to get to them as quick as I can. Through my testing here, I do recommend the power bank if you're looking for one of the first options to get the Qi 2.2 standard, and I think it is a great power bank for what it actually does. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Zanev Tech is out.